Boom!
Hey, welcome to another episode of Grow a Pair of Confidence.
Confidence, full trust.
Belief in the powers, trustworthiness, or reliability of a person or thing.
We have every confidence in your ability to succeed.
Believe in yourself.
Join us and let's grow a pair of confidence.
Our confidence has been so big, we haven't done a podcast in a while.
Well, we've been working on things, and we, as in me, I am Virginia Jimenez, and
I am Flip Aguilera.
yes, and it definitely has been some time since you and I, Flip, have sat down and had a conversation and recorded it.
Yes,
to share
I
with
miss
the
my
world.
people.
I know, I miss my people too. I miss my people too. But I always feel like I was talking to you, Flip, I was talking to you about this through text message about, I think that quality over quantity is important. And so, yeah, we've been missing out on doing some episodes, but we both have been working on a lot of things, in the background and developing ourselves and developing what we are here to do in this world, in this planet, in this universe. So, and those are great things. And now we can share some of those things.
So what has been the top 3 things you've been working on lately, Virginia?
I have been working on growing my coaching practice, doing a lot more work with that, and my motivational speaking. I've also been just reaching out to people individually to work with them, and it's been great. It's been a great adventure for the last, I would say, month and a half that I was just really dedicated to just one aspect and not spreading myself out thin.
So what's the one aspect you were dedicated to? Tell the people how you got to your focus, your clarity of focus, and what steps you've taken to get to where you are today, where it seems like you've got some momentum behind you.
Oh yeah, I definitely have some momentum. I'm super excited because I feel like it's just going to keep climbing, and it's like a natural high that I create for myself, which is totally awesome. It kind of started at a point where I just decided, you know what? I'm developing my business as a coach and as a speaker, and I felt stuck, and I felt like I needed to gain somebody else's perspective, because it's like the other day I was shopping in a shopping mall. I was looking for a specific store. This is a large shopping mall, and I'm driving alongside the building, right? And so I'm so close to the building that I could see that there's signs there, but I couldn't really see exactly what the signs said. So I couldn't find this place. And at some point I just gave up and I decided, you know what? I can't waste any more time driving around this parking lot. I'm just going to leave. As I'm about to get on the main highway, I turn around and look, and from that angle, from that perspective, I was able to see this sign. The sign that I was spent 10 minutes going around in circles looking for.
Yeah.
And that's how life is. Like, even you can have all the potential, all the qualities in the world. Sometimes it takes gaining a new perspective to be able to come out and develop, or just find that sign and really go in and conquer. And so I actually, because I am a coach, I realized that I wanted to take my own medicine, and I hired my own coach, and I got really, really focused. And it's been life changing. I'm telling you, there's so much more that's going to happen. I feel great right now with the choice of investing in myself. So that's one of the biggest things that's happened.
And you know that I love to read about investing and all that stuff, and people always wonder what's the greatest way to make, I guess, more money, or to get their career to be the best. And the answer to that is you got to invest in yourself. That's the number one thing you need to invest in to grow yourself in any way that you want to grow. So if you see that there's some coach or some package or some service that you're just holding out because you think, oh, I just don't have enough money, or whatever excuses you come up with in your head, all you're doing is taking more time for you to grow in that thing, because you're afraid of whatever it is you're afraid of. So just get after it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Grow Pair of Confidence is about, is getting after it, because confidence is not something about, power posing, and it is about having a great mindset, but it's also putting things into practice, and you need to commit to this practice.
What do you think of the idea that there's no one thing you can do? It's a lot of little things. It's a lot of little things that you do that come together in a puzzle to create this one masterful thing that that shows as one piece, but it's really a lot of little pieces.
Oh yeah, I believe in that. I mean, there was a video I saw on Facebook last week that was this man, he got a whole row of dominoes and they all were different sizes. So it started out with one small little domino that was so tiny that he needed a pair of tweezers to actually stand it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the tallest one was probably about 3.5 feet, but it was really, really heavy. So it was about 3.5 feet in height. I think it was probably ceramic because it sounded like that when it fell on the floor. And anyways, he had it all lined up, okay, from that tweezer size all the way to the 3.5 foot size. And he knocked it down. And you won't believe, but it all knocked down just from hitting that one small domino.
Yeah.
So yes, it does take a lot of different steps. It's all a process. And actually, I think that's what our conversation is going to be about today.
Yeah. I think we're going to get into focusing on the process over the outcome. Now, yes, you need to know where your outcome is because your outcome is where you're headed. That's the direction you're headed. You know, if we're going from here to New York, we know New York is north since we're down here in sunny South Florida. Now, we don't know what the journey is going to bring along the way, that we may have to detour or do whatever we have to do, but the memory is made in the journey getting to New York. Once you get to New York, then you have a new journey, a new outcome that you need to focus on, but it's the journey itself. It's the little pieces. It's the puzzle pieces that are starting to jump out to me, because everything that I read, all the videos that I watch, the podcast that I listen to, it's starting to become a clearer that you need to focus on the process, because if you focus on the process and doing the process as well as you can, the outcome is only going to be that. It's going to be the energy that you have put in. What do you think?
I totally agree. Mm-hmm. Totally agree. I was thinking about this weekend, and I actually had an analogy of what that looks like for people, because I feel like lots of people may focus on the end result. I mean, is there a time in your life where you kind of had a target, but the whole time you're so focused just on the target, and then when you get there, you're like, oh my God, that's it?
Yeah.
What happened?
That happens. That's actually a thing that they talk about Olympians. That, they focus on the outcome so much that when the Olympics are over, they all have these like big depression swings, because that's it. The ones that do well are the ones that know they have a good practice to go back to continue to get better for the next time. That their focus on their process is so clear to them. To them, the process is the goal. And
yes.
I keep seeing that reoccurring in people that I find to be successful. And they say it. They're like, I love the process. I was listening to an interview with some guy who's like some wilderness survival. And I don't know how Jerry Seinfeld came up, but he said that he had read an article about Jerry Seinfeld, and that's basically the same thing he said. He's like, I love the little things that I do. He's like, every day I look at my calendar and say, okay, I need to write this many jokes. Are they all going to be funny? No, but I love the time and energy that it takes me to come up with that many jokes every day. And in that, I'm going to come up with a couple of funny ones. But right. I need to go through the process over and over and over again. And another analogy that I like to give, being that I'm in the world of fitness, is, and you have been in the world of fitness also, do you go to the gym every day thinking, oh, this is going to be the day that I crush it?
No, I mean, not really, no.
Some days you're like, I know I need to go because I need to go. And you go and you do it, but some days you go and you have no idea, but that's the day that you absolutely crush it.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you're focused on the process every day. So you just got to get in there and get your stuff done. And you never know when that magic day is going to happen, but you have to be in it for that to happen at all.
Right. I agree. I agree. And going back to what you were saying about the target, like the New York target, I've started to feel like life is somewhat like let's imagine it's a pearl necklace, okay? But it's an ongoing pearl necklace. Like, you don't know where that pearl necklace really ends. And each pearl that's on this strand, because the strand is the journey, each pearl that's on it is like that point in the process where you learn something new. It might be a point where there's failure, because it happens in the process, and that's how you learn.
Yeah.
I feel like failure has such a negative connotation, but the truth is it's a point where you have a choice. You know, and each
Yeah, I'm listening.
yeah, and it's the point where you have a choice. Like, okay, I fumbled. You know, where do I go from here? Am I gonna learn from this? Am I gonna move past this? Am I gonna use this to just take me to a new place, a new opportunity?
Yeah.
So it's like that to me. I kind of look at it like that. Like, life is this endless pearl necklace and each one of those experiences is a learning opportunity, and that's that pearl.
For sure. And yeah, all of this is going to come down to the one word that really drives it all, and that is mindset. You know, for those of us that know that failure is just a stepping stone to success, we embrace our failure and we look at it, we observe it. We observe the process that it took us to get there, so we can see, okay, we didn't really like that process, but what about what I did is going to speak to me so that as I go forward, I know, okay, let me not do that, because it's kind of like a video game, you know, when you played Super Mario when you were a kid, the first time, you know, you needed to do a big jump, you didn't know, okay, I need to press B so I could run fast, and then A at the last second, and you slide off and you fall into the thing, and you're like, oh man, but then the next time you're like, oh, I know what I got to do to get that. So, you know, you have to go through the failures and, you know, just take it like Super Mario. It's always fun.
That's right. It's so funny that I like that analogy, because I actually imagine myself playing it because I played it as a kid.
Well, that's, you know, this is our generation. This is what we have.
That's funny.
These are the analogies we're going to make, because we all experience playing Super Mario for the most part.
So the process, like you said, the process is really about, I mean, when you're going towards a goal, it's about enjoying the process. And part of that enjoyment or really focusing on the process is that mindset that you mentioned.
For sure.
And it reminds me of Carol Dweck. Have you heard of Carol Dweck?
I don't know if I've heard of Carol Dweck. Please tell us a little bit more about Miss Carol Dweck, or Mrs. I don't know.
she's a Mrs.
Okay.
And she actually has a really good TED Talk about this, about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset.
Yes.
Where people get caught up in like judging themselves or other people judging them based on their talents only instead of the efforts, you know? So really we gotta reward ourselves for the effort throughout the process. Because we tend to get so focused on, oh my God, I'm a failure. What does this mean to me? Does this mean I'm not talented enough? Does this mean that I should quit and pursue just nothing anymore? I should just settle. And the truth is, no, it's not about, that doesn't, you know, the failure doesn't make you a unintelligent or incapable, I should say. It's really about putting in the effort, because the person that actually puts more effort in is the one that's going to get something back, you know, from the process. So yeah, it's that whole thing with fixed versus growth mindset. And we can't avoid the challenges that go through the process. It's part of it. And it's what builds you as a person. And imagine when you actually just open up to the possibilities of going through the process, even when it's uncomfortable, what type of person do you become, you know, afterwards, after going through this process? The awesome one, you know, it's like that diamond in the rough, the diamond's in this coal, you know, and all this pressure, it's feeling all this pressure to create this beautiful diamond that's inside. And sometimes it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
The process can be like that sometimes.
And do
you
know what hormetic stress is? Have you ever heard of
You've mentioned it to me, however, I have not looked into it further.
Well, a hormetic stress is a stress that helps to build you. You know, like you go to the gym, you're putting your body under a stress. But that stress is serving to make you stronger. So it's not like a negative stress, which, by the way, stress kills, the bad one, for sure. There's no doubt about it. So let that shit go. Now, hormetic stress, you know, we have to look at this the same way. It's really the exact same thing. You need that bit of a stress, and you need to go through that bit of a burn or whatever it is that you're feeling, so that you can get a little bit stronger in whatever skill you're trying to accomplish, so that you can be super duper beach ready when it's time to go to the beach, you know?
That's right. Oh my God. Of course, this makes perfect sense. I mean, it's like, well, you're a fitness instructor, so you should know. that's how it is when you go to the gym. Like, your muscles burn sometimes when you need to pass that threshold, let's say, of getting your 6-pack abs. I mean, although there's food involved in the process, but really, when you work out hard, it hurts. It's painful sometimes. It's not necessarily easy, but then you get some results.
Yeah. Now you need the rest to get the results. So I think that's part of the process too. You can't drown yourself in the process to the point where you burn yourself out. You have to give your brain some time to, okay, I tried that. Let me, and I guess that's where things like meditation and all these other things come in, where they're building blocks to help you get to where you want to go. But you still have to give yourself some sort of rest and recovery, even for your brain. You can't just beat yourself into the ground trying to figure something out 24 hours a day, because it's going to start to stress you out in a bad way.
Definitely. I am a definite, ambassador of self-care. I promote that heavily. I think that, and meditation is one of those ways where you can provide self-care and those moments of just, I need to rest, for sure.
So do we want to wrap this up in saying that fall in love with the process? The outcome is going to be love in the end anyway.
That's right. That's right. You have to well, you don't have to, but it would be a good idea if you did fall in love with the process. I mean, that's where you grow. That's where you develop those muscles, that's really where you learn and become better, through the process. So definitely go through the process, shift that mentality, that mindset to just be open to the challenge of growing those muscles internally.
Growing that pair of confidence.
That's right.
So before we exit out on this one, are there any books or anything that you're reading lately that you want to let the people know that you're on? What are you watering yourself with lately?
I've been reading so many books lately. I mean, I'll talk about just quickly too. One is the current one that I'm reading right now is Mindset, and it's by Carol Dweck, who we just mentioned. Yeah. And the other one is for people that have had difficulties in relationships, and even people that don't have difficulties in relationships. I feel like this book, will really, really help you. It's called Attached. And it's the psychology of adult attachment in relationships. And we can talk about that in another episode for sure. But it's definitely a book that I recommend. And I think people, people should read it. Whether you're in a relationship or not, I think it's a book that will totally help you. It's by a psychiatrist and neuroscientist named Dr. Amir Levine and Rachel Heller.
Okay, very good. Well, I just finished reading Stop Chasing Influencers by Kimanzi Constable and Jared Easley. On my Flip Wix page, I did do a book review, so if anybody's interested in getting like a short synopsis of the book with a heavy dose of my opinion, it's there, and it's a good book. It's basically what we talk about here. It's, everybody wants to, as they say, like chase the people who are doing it, but the people who are doing it only have so much time. So how do you become that influencer yourself? And there's, lots of tips and tricks and things that you can read in that book that'll give you a template on how to make yourself the influencer.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Flip, for sharing that. So this has been a great episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed our podcast episode on enjoying the process. I am Virginia Jimenez, and you can... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Tell people where they can find you. Tell people where they can find
me. You can find me on Facebook, Virginia Inspires. You can also find me on my website, virginiainspires.com, and sign up for the newsletter there. I should be sending one out every month. And I would love to hear from you guys. Feel free to send a message and share any thoughts that you may have and any questions. Flip.
I am Flip Aguilera, and you can find me at sweatnation.world. My Wix website is flipaaa.wix, I think, .com, something like that. What else do I have? I've been doing more Snapchatting lately. You can find me Flip Aguilera on Snapchat. I am not been doing as much Instagramming so much, but yeah, Sweat Nation, all one word, on Facebook is where I mostly hang out at. But yeah, find me on Snapchat lately. It's fun, and I just like putting the funny faces. It's great.
I love Snapchat too. I actually like it a lot. So awesome. Well, this has been a great episode. Feel free to, again to connect with us, and we'll see you on the next time.